Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation, where I review action figures and then articulate 5 points to help you decide if you want to add that figure to your collection. The 5 points I discuss are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and if you enjoy my content, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and doing all the YouTube rigmarole. You can also follow us on our brand new Facebook page, link in the description. It's Easter, and what better way to celebrate than by taking a look at a terrible Bible action figure? Well, honestly, there's probably a lot of better ways to celebrate. Unless you grew up in a religious household, you might not have any idea the sheer biblical proportion of Bible-based toys. You're not going to find them in Walmart or Toys R Us. They're usually only going to be found online or in specialty shops. And they're definitely going to vary in quality from bad to less bad. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the BibleQuest Noah. After the flood, God gave us the sign of the rainbow, but where does this Noah fit on the spectrum of bad to less bad? Only one way to find out. Let's take him over the review station and dig in. Taking a look at the packaging, and I feel like I need to apologize in advance. This curved bubble just absolutely plays havoc off of my lights, and there's just no way of looking at this thing without any glare. At a first glance, we'll notice this kind of goldish, brownish, orangish, blech motif. Over here we have the name of the line, BibleQuest, unlock your world with questions. Get it? You will notice that the trading card is raised, and that's actually for a very interesting reason. See, the back actually has this kind of keyhole where you can look through and read the back of the card. It's kind of a neat idea, but the keyhole shape blocks a bunch of the text. And speaking of text, boy howdy is there a lot of it. I'm pretty sure that the whole story of Noah in the Bible doesn't take up this much reading. Alright, so let's learn all about Noah so we can get excited for this action figure. Did you know that Noah was 480 years old when he began building the ark? It then took Noah and his 3 sons 120 years to finish it. When he entered the ark with his wife, 3 sons, and 3 daughters-in-law, he was 600 years old. Well, that sounds exciting. So let's see, all 4 figures in the wave. We've got Noah, we got Moses, we got David, and Goliath. Discover the unexpected. Journey back to ancient times and uncover hidden treasures. Unlock the mysterious world of your favorite Bible heroes and heroines. So, which one of these is a chick? Explore facts, brain teasers, and links to modern-day places. Scout out archaeological digs, play games, search for secret riches, and build your own biblical character. Like Cyberpunk? Not much left to look at outside, so it's time to crack in. Not gonna lie, cutting into this sort of takes me back to the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends days. I have never seen an action figure package that is simultaneously so busy and so bland. If the entire point of a toy line like this is to get little kids interested in learning about Bible heroes and Bible stories, this totally misses the mark. For packaging, BibleQuest Noah gets 0 points. Starting off with the head sculpt, and let me say, this doesn't look a thing like Russell Crowe. Pretty good likeness for Charles Darwin, though. Appropriate considering how both of them are pretty famous for their work with breeding animals. All joking aside, though, this is actually a very impressive head sculpt. I like the shading in his beard, and his eyes are actually painted very nicely. There's a bit of shading to his wrinkles, and overall the face is pretty realistic. The top of his head's a little bit Frankenstein-y, but beyond that, it's actually a very good sculpt. Unfortunately, that attention to detail did not extend to his hands, which are very smooth and very young. The feet are pretty well detailed, though. Otherwise, he just has this cloth goods green robe, and I know what you want. You want me to take this off. You want me to strip Noah down to his skivvies? You want to see if he even has skivvies? Well, let me tell you something, pervert. I absolutely will. But you gotta get to the end of the video first, so make sure you stick around. Until then, to be honest, I'm actually pretty impressed. I'm also just noticing that the belt is actually attached to the robe instead of just wrapping around it. Getting this off might be a little bit tricky, but that just makes it more worth it for you. Honestly, I want to hate it, but it's sculpted well, it's painted well, the cloth goods are done well. Yeah, the hands are smooth, but chances are the body's probably reused. For presentation, I'm actually going to give this 1 whole point. Moving on to posability, Noah has a disc hinge in his neck that allows him to look side to side. He also has a disc hinge for his shoulder, and to be honest, the range on it's actually very impressive considering this robe. I kind of expected him to not have any articulation at all in his elbow, but if we roll up the sleeve, we can see that he actually has a single jointed swivel hinge, bends this much in, and gets side to side rotation. He also has swivel wrists. Noah does actually have a swivel at the waist and can twist side to side. Again, pretty good range for the robe. Where things get weird are the legs. So rolling up this robe and giving a little sneaky peek, we can see that he has these kind of swivel hinges at his thighs that hinge outward and also twist, but just don't allow for any front and back. But while we're here, we can also see that he has a single jointed knee that actually is not that bad. He even has a front and back ankle hinge and twisty-turny. Here's Noah trying to dab, and now we can see why God flooded the earth. In terms of articulation, this figure is a bit of a conundrum. In some ways he has more than he needs, in other ways he doesn't have enough. The ankle and elbow articulation is nice, and the range is surprisingly good considering this robe. But that limited shoulder articulation, and especially the hips, just really aren't helping him out. For posability, I'm giving Noah half a point. Moving on to playability, and this is one area where this Noah figure absolutely shines. If there's one thing that a good Noah toy should come with, it's a lot of animals, and this guy is packed to the gills. He's got a couple of turtles, a couple of rabbits, a couple of snakes, a couple of foxes, a couple of tigers, and a couple of goats. And I'm not gonna lie, I was all ready to make a joke about how these are two billy goats, but you know what? I did a quick Google, and apparently female goats have horns too. So, the more you know. All joking aside, these are actually really nice little animal figurines. They're well sculpted, they're really well painted, and you could probably fit them in a lot of different displays. And Noah himself can have fun mixing and matching with all of your 5-inch scale toys. Oh, let's see. Penguin number 1, check. Welcome aboard. Penguin number 2, and oh dear. What? No, of course I'm a real frog. Now let me on that boat. What do you mean you filled your pig quota? Don't you know who I am? That's strange. One of the snakes is dead, along with this very peculiar looking lobster. Oh dear. You're gonna need a bigger boat. I think that's enough blasphemy for one day. Word of caution though, I've already dropped one of the rabbits and I'm pretty sure it's lost forever, so make sure you keep an eye on all these little guys. Otherwise, the playability is really through the roof. If you want to teach your little one about Noah's Ark, or maybe you just want to have some fun animal figures, honestly, it's not that bad. For playability, 1 whole point. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. Retail, these figures went for 20 bucks. That does seem kind of high, but when you factor in that this is a smaller company, how many accessories you're getting, plus the articulation and paint detailing, to be honest, that's not so bad. Aftermarket, they're going for 30 bucks, which is just a little bit more than I would have been willing to pay. Then again, I got this for 3 bucks at a thrift store, so I'm pretty happy. For price, I'm giving Noah half a point for a grand total of 3 out of 5. Religious toys are kind of tricky. As we saw from the back of this box, most religious toys exist more to enforce doctrine than encourage imagination. And you know what? That's a shame. I went into this review wanting to hate this. And by no means is it great, but it has a lot of great animal accessories, a pretty decent sculpt and paint job, more posability than it needed to have, and the opportunity for some laughs. And now, since you have been so good and stayed all the way through the end of the video, it's time to make good on my promise, my Easter gift from me to you, from me. Time to see what he's got under this robe. Dang! Noah knows his way around the gym. You know what I'm talking about? Was it worth it? Well, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you want to see me review more religious toys. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, have fun, happy Easter, and maybe pray for me.